It's February 1994 in Redlands, California, and at the Redlands General Hospital, something was brewing and it was disturbing. It was disturbing enough that the hospital staff had to evacuate and take all the ill patients that were in the hospital that night with them to the parking lot. Everybody was trying to metaphorically run away from a patient, and that patient was 31-year-old Gloria Ramirez. She was causing fear in the hospital because those who got into contact with her ended up getting admitted to the intensive care unit. Hello, I am your host, Amadi, and with me is my partner,
The Grin.
Welcome to our channel where we don't shy away from gruesome details, where some things may be triggering and hard to hear. So get yourself in the right frame of mind and let's talk about dark shit.
Let's do it.
Gloria Ramirez was born on January 11th, 1963 in Redlands, California. Redlands is known for being a big town with small town feels, known for their orange orchards and beautiful homes.
It is, I can attest to.
Oh, yay. It is located at the base of the San Bernardino Mountains and about 60 miles east of LA, since everybody knows LA rather than San Bernardino Mountains. Not much is known about her younger years, other than when she was an adult, she was known as someone who was always the life of the party. And she did have 2 kids with her ex-husband and was married again to Johnny Estrada. A few weeks before her 31st birthday, she received the news that she was diagnosed with a late-stage cervical cancer. And 6 weeks later, her symptoms had advanced and started to spread into other organs and body parts. Her condition wasn't public knowledge, but Gloria's sister thinks that she had started chemotherapy. And the reason I said it wasn't common knowledge, that's because Gloria was rather a private person. She kept things to herself. So we don't know if she even went to have treatment. And another thing that made it seem that maybe she didn't was because she didn't have any medical insurance. So because of that, it was going to be all very difficult for her, especially if she wasn't receiving treatment. On February 19th, 1994, Johnny, her husband, called 911. And it was around 7:50 p.m., and it was about Gloria. She took a turn for the worse, and she was in acute distress. She was having problems breathing, irregular heartbeat, and in the days following, she was nauseous a lot and vomiting. The Riverside Fire Department arrived at her house and took her to the Riverside General Hospital. She arrived at 8:10 p.m. and immediately was placed in the ER where hospital staff tried to sedate her. They used diazepam, which is for anxiety, midazolam, and lorazepam, another one for anxiety and seizures, all of them for sedation, to sedate her. And a little side note, I'm not a medical professional in any sense, but I saw that midazolam, I'm going to say it wrong, is considered 8 times more potent than diazepam. It's known for its calming and relaxing effects. And what they do or are used for is to slow down or stop heavy breathing. But it isn't, this is the part that confuses me. Isn't it dangerous to mix them all together?
I was going to say,
right?
She was like probably floating in the clouds. I don't know. That's a lot of them.
It's excessive, but I don't know if it's something that it's normal for them to use or people in the hospital to use.
Well, I mean,
so much.
Like sedation, I get, but to mix it all like that?
Because one thing that I read, it says that you're not supposed to mix them. I forgot the long word for them, or the actual word, but they're benzos. That's what they call them. And yeah, it says that you're not supposed to mix them, but it's a hospital, so maybe they're supposed to. I don't know. If
somebody
knows,
let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know, because I'm curious. And you'd think that it would do something, like it actually help her, but nothing helped her. Nothing was relaxing her.
Oh, well, never mind. I guess she wasn't in the clouds.
Nope, she was not. So after arriving in the hospital, Gloria went into shock, and hospital staff went in defibrillate her. Use a defibrillator, you know?
Yes.
And for those who don't know, it's basically giving her heart some electrical currents to restart it. But when they removed her shirt, they noticed that her skin had some type of oily film, like some type of sheen that the staff described. Registered nurse Susan Kane came in to draw some blood from Gloria. When she got close to her, she started to smell what she described a garlicky, fruity smell, and it was coming from her mouth. I also want to add, I can't picture or smell in my mind, I guess, what garlicky fruity smells together.
That sounds atrocious.
Right? How do you
Garlic, I get.
But how do you put fruity with garlic?
I don't know what that is,
Actually
but it sounds gross,
I got
honestly.
stuck on that one because I was like, what does that smell like? That's weird. But after she drew her blood, she also smelled something else. It was the smell of ammonia. After she handed the syringe to medical resident Julie Gorkinski, they noticed that the ammonia smell was coming from the syringe, that it was her blood. They also noticed small manila-colored crystallized objects floating in her blood. Respiratory therapist Maureen Welsh was also in the room since Gloria was having difficulty breathing. She even thought it was odd that her blood would smell like ammonia because someone who is supposed to be receiving chemotherapy, especially since she had cervical cancer, their blood smells putrid, Maureen states, because of all the chemicals being used in the body to fight the disease. So her blood's not supposed to smell like that if she was receiving chemotherapy. Now, things right now start to happen very rapidly. The RN, Susan Kane, the one who took the blood, she said that her face started to feel really hot and then she fainted. She was then placed in one of the trauma rooms. Not soon after, the medical resident, Julie Gorkinski, went to sit down because she wasn't feeling well. She stood up and immediately fainted. And if that wasn't enough, the respiratory therapist, Maureen Welsh, same thing happened to her. And these are all the women that were near Gloria. Because of almost all the staff that was in the room with Gloria that it affected in some way, the hospital decided to immediately evacuate all the patients that were ill in the ER and then take them to the parking lot with them. A lot of the hospital personnel stayed out there as well. Only a few people stayed inside with Gloria, one of them being the doctor in charge, Humberto Ochoa, who, when everybody was being evacuated, was in there for 45 minutes attempting to save her by using the defibrillator and CPR, but it was no use because Gloria ended up passing away at 8:50 p.m., only 40 minutes after arrival. And since the hospital staff didn't know what Gloria had inside of her, they decided to be safe and place her in a body bag inside of an aluminum crate. According to Discover magazine, this event was one of the most extensive investigations in forensic history. At 11 p.m., Riverside County hazmat team arrives and they start to look for volatile toxicants. For example, hydrogen sulfate, which is sewer gas, maybe a fugitive pathogen or some kind of toxic chemical. But before they did, since they didn't want to risk it, they all donned on some airtight suits when they went to collect more blood from Gloria's body. 6 days after passing, they did an autopsy. 6 weeks afterwards, they did another one. And then one more autopsy right before her burial. The only thing they were able to find in her system was Tylenol, lidocaine, codeine, and Tigan. Tigan is an anti-nausea medication. And for weeks, nothing had been exactly said on what happened that night, meaning the media didn't hear anything. So I'm going to bring you back to the staff. The medical resident, Julie Gorkinski, she was admitted to La Loma Hospital where she was discovered to have apnea, which is where a person is breathing. They stop breathing. Take a few breaths, stop breathing. She kept doing that. At the same time, she was also intermittently shaking. For 2 weeks, Julia stayed in the ICU. Along with having apnea, she developed hepatitis, pancreatitis, and necrosis of her bone marrow, which crippled her legs. She even ended up receiving 3 surgeries. The other, I believe, 4 staff members were almost all in the same condition, but I believe Julia had it worse. And a lot of them were also having the same issues where they couldn't walk. Like it was like paralyzing their legs for a bit. The ones that were in the ICU were originally treated for organophosphate poisoning, which means that somebody probably got poisoned by pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, or chemical warfare agents. But that wasn't it. That wasn't what was happening. In total, 28 people became ill, and that is including the 5 that were hospitalized. Because of all these people getting sick, the media started to speculate. There was the thought that maybe it was sewer gas. There was conversion disorder, which is a mental health condition that causes physical symptoms. Almost the same as mass hysteria, but that one's the one that spreads through panic and fear.
I was going to say mass hysteria, but...
Well, another reason I think that they also said it could have been mass hysteria because okay, this is weird. The people that it was affecting was mainly women, and it was those who didn't eat anything that whole day. So it was kind of weird. So I read some things where they think it was mass hysteria because mass hysteria usually is mainly with women.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what? Wait. I'm like, but...
Yeah, they're trying to say women are like hysterical. Don't, shut up.
I'm just kidding. Let's cut that part out.
Another theory that was thrown around was, since she wasn't going to chemotherapy, probably, that she was probably using DMSO. So DMSO was a popular supplement or a cream that had many uses back then. I didn't even check to see if they still have it nowadays. But it's used to reduce joint pain, lowering inflammation, decreased allergy symptoms, speeding up recovery after exercise, and some evidence suggests that it has some cancer-fighting properties. And since in one of the toxicology reports, it captured large amounts of dimethylsulfone in her blood and tissue, that one, the use of DMSO, was a huge theory that stuck around. It was theorized that she was probably using that stuff all over her body to reduce or kill the cancer cells. And it would also explain the oily film she had all over her body. But what about the ammonia smell? Well, the ammonia in her blood, the smell of it. Remember when I spoke about that chemical that they found in her, Tigan? So Tigan breaks down into, I'm going to say all this wrong, amines, and amines is related to ammonia, which could also explain the smell of ammonia in her blood. But these were all theories because it was never fully discovered what happened with Gloria. All we do know is that she did pass away that night from cervical cancer, but nobody knows exactly what happened that day in the hospital.
Yeah, I remember hearing this case a while ago, and it's very strange. Very, very strange. And the fact that they never found an actual reason as to what was going on with everybody else. You did forget one theory, though.
Sure.
There was one more theory that...
It was chemical warfare. There's somebody trying to do that.
Aliens.
Oh, I never read anything about aliens. What?
Yeah. I remember watching a video, and you know what? I'm going to look up that video because I remember clearly watching a video, and one of the theories was aliens. That she was abducted by aliens, and then radiation was still on her, and then, yeah.
I never crossed anything that said aliens. The one I
you
heard
were probably looking up actual legit articles.
Probably. I was looking at science.
Yeah.
Yeah, the science of it.
You're probably looking at actual scientific, legit, professional articles. I'm out here telling you, I'm watching YouTube videos from the randos who are saying.
The one I thought was crazy, I didn't really fully look into it because I was like, no. They said that supposedly there was Oh God, I think it was something to do with like she was a Russian spy or something. And when she was in the hospital, they put something in her body.
Okay, you know what? I do remember that one too.
You remember that one?
Yeah, but that one was also super random, like just like the alien one.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that one I was like not even an article. It was like a barely little blip thing that I read.
yeah. But yeah, you're gonna see the randos as well, just throwing in random theories. The alien one did stick with me.
Well, because it's
Yeah,
aliens.
of course.
That's fine. I don't know. This one stuck with me. Well, first, I'm going to admit I did hear about it on Grey's Anatomy, but then I found out like it was an actual case.
Yeah, an actual real life
Yeah, so
case.
I was like, oh my God, that's scary. Like that somebody's body can emit something that can just harm people that bad. And why did it only affect women?
That's true. I was gonna say, like, from what I was thinking, I'm like, could it be like a combination of everything that she was taking? Just like
That's one of the theories that
creating.
everything that she was doing, I don't, so she was taking the Tigan, which I'm probably saying it wrong, but that's for anti-nausea. She was nauseous a lot before she went to the hospital that night. So she was taking that. They also said that the DMSO that was supposedly on her body, I guess one of the toxology reports said that they found a large amounts, did report finding a lot of it. And one place I read said that I guess her putting on the DMSO along with, oh my goodness, I think with the Tigan, the anti-nausea medication, that she, look, because anti-nausea means you can't throw up. It's making you stop throwing up, right?
Correct.
So they said that by her putting on that cream or oil, whatever, all over her body, it wasn't being sucked into her skin. That's not the right word, but like absorbed. There you go. It wasn't being absorbed in her skin for her to expel it because she made herself try to stop throwing up. So she is keeping everything in. So they're saying that could have been like some huge effect on her.
See, out of all the theories that I've come across, I feel like that's the one that makes more sense. The only thing is, why only women?
I don't know. Uh, And it was those who haven't eaten that day, which makes sense because if you don't eat anything, like for example, if you don't eat anything all day, then at night you go out drinking, you're going to feel it super fast because you don't have anything in your system to absorb it,
I
to
mean,
slow it down.
that's true, but well, I don't know. I didn't really look into like the staff that day.
Hmm.
Um, to see like maybe, I mean, what if there was a guy who didn't eat anything and it was working and
See, okay, some reports say it was all women, but then some reports says women and those who haven't eaten that day. So I'm wondering if it says, because I didn't fully look into all the people who got affected, but I'm wondering the reports that said the people who haven't eaten that day, if it means also men. So I don't fully know.
because I mean, there are some men out there who don't eat at work. Maybe I don't know. I have no clue.
But I think it was the majority. Let's say the majority was women that
Yes,
it affected.
which I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know.
It's scary. Yeah, because how is it that something like that causes necrosis and then you all of a sudden can't walk because it's eating your damn bone, your bone marrow, or freaking pancreatitis, like hepatitis? What the heck? I don't know.
That's
That's
true. That's
just
true.
it's such a trippy thing to hear. To know that you got in contact with somebody and all of a sudden you're like your face is burning up and then you faint. That's scary.
Yeah, that's very true.
This is just what you call a medical mystery.
It is. You know what? Maybe it is the aliens. Maybe they're doing something with the women at that time. I don't know.
Aliens exist. I just don't know if they abduct people.
They have to do their research.
Ew. Ew, I never thought of it like that they do research. I don't like that you said that.
I mean, it's pretty dark.
I feel nauseous now.
Oh my gosh.
It just sounds weird that they have
Please
to do
don't faint.
research.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God, it is
Dark.
the aliens.
A little bit of dark humor sprinkled in there.
Okay, well, everybody, hopefully you enjoyed this week's non true crime story, more mystery.
More scientific mystery than anything else.
Yes. And if there's anything specific you want to hear, just let us know.
Although I would argue that it is a little bit dark because, I mean, we don't know. It's in the unknown. And if that realm of the unknown scares you, then
Oh, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, because it might scare people. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I did say it's scary.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Thank you.
We are still recording at our new location. I'm feeling very cozy right now.
He is like, now, okay, there's pillows. I added another blanket in here. We both have our own blankets that we're coast up.
I'm like, wow, like I could fall asleep.
Yes.
It's so cozy.
Yes. I have an awesome closet. Well, everybody be well.
Be safe.
And see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.